when I hear a comment about, well, we've got to get the Agent Orange, the blue water issue solved before we can really move forward on a holistic basis with the Camp Lejeune exposure, that's unacceptable. There's not a single veteran that's ever served in the armed services will say, we won't fight one battle until we can win them all. We have 6 diseases confirmed by the CDC that say that there is sufficient evidence of causation, period. We should look at the other ones and figure out whether we should do more. We should figure out a methodology when everything's equal, the tie goes to the veteran. We need to get the Lejeune issue solved quickly. I was told 2 months ago, that any claims for the diseases related, the 3 at least, would be delayed and not denied until we came up with a policy. The reason that we needed to do that is if you get a claim denied, then the veteran has to go through the process again. Whereas if we just delay the decision until after we have the policy, they can move through the process in the order that they should. Conflating the agent, and look, I've got my wife's uncle's name is inscribed on the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. He died from Agent Orange, excuse me, exposure. I have great sympathy for what Senator Blumenthal and everybody else is doing. I want this Lejeune problem solved. And I think Secretary Mavis should be ashamed of the statement he made this week because he's taken the eye off the ball of solving this problem. So I'd like to get an assurance first and foremost, and I'm not citing you two personally. I thank you for your service, and I appreciate the work that you're doing. But this is a process that's broken. We have got to solve the problem, not only with the 3, because I continue to hear the 3, but the CDC says the 6. So let me start there. What has the CDC presented on the 6 conditions that they say that there is sufficient evidence of causation that the experts in the VA think are wrong?
I'll defer to Dr. Erickson about that. Yeah, Senator Tillis, thank you for the question. I was fortunate to be a member of the VA team that has met with ATSDR professionals. We met the 19th of August, 22nd of September. We think will be the final meeting sometime prior to the 13th of October. Our ATSDR colleagues provided us with a 67-page document which was very well received. It involved a tremendous amount of work summarizing, aggregating the body of information that's available, not just ATSDR studies, but all of the occupational environmental studies within the scientific literature. Again, not wanting to usurp the authority of my big boss, Secretary McDonald, I can merely tell you that we are moving from that smaller work group that's been meeting with ATSDR to a deliberative process that will, I think, move relatively quickly in bringing recommendations to the Secretary. I was able to listen in on that phone call that you had with the Secretary, Senator, and I very much appreciate the urgency to get this settled. As a veteran, I very much feel that as well.
Let me, because my time is about to expire, I'd like to get an assurance from you all. I thought that I had the assurance in July. According to my staff, I may be wrong, and if I am, I'll come to the next committee and say that I am. But I have been told that there have been claims denied since I was given an assurance that they would not be for at least the 3 types of diseases. What I'd like is an assurance for at least the 6 where we have sufficient evidence of causation that there is not going to be another denial. And if there is, you know, I know that I've ratcheted up my temperature in this meeting. It won't compare to the next one if that happens, because we owe to these veterans. And I'll just finish my statement, Chairman. I'll try and go quickly because I meet with you all on a regular basis. There are a lot of things you're doing good work. This is not one that I'm pleased with the progress. I want to make sure, but there's another piece here that we need to talk about. The disability benefits are mandatory spending. We'll spend whatever we have to when we find out we have an obligation. I've heard on a couple of occasions about the operational impact, and I get that. If we have to serve more veterans, we have to serve more veterans. Somebody's saying, well, we need to be careful because we don't want it up the backlog because that'll create bad optics. I don't care. If we need a backlog to be created because we have people who may have legitimate claims, create the backlog, and then we'll figure out how to fund the operation to draw down the backlog. But let's not have policy be driven by optics that politicians just need to deal with. And I'll be honest with you all, and I'll stand up for you all. If you start putting processes in place where we're serving more veterans and it requires more people, I'll be one of the first ones to do whatever I have to do to provide y'all with the resources to do it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.